Reading the Bible, chapter 13 of Genesis, verse 1. Abram and Lot separate. So Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Verse 2. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and in gold. Verse 3. From the Negev he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier. Verse 4. And where he had first built an altar. What? Verse 4. And where he had first built an altar. There, Abram called on the name of the Lord. Verse 5. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. Verse 6. But the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. Verse 7. And quarreling arose between Abram's herders and Lot's. The Canaanites, the Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at the time. 8. So Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Verse 9. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Verse 10. Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the destroyed Sodom. Oh, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 11. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out towards the east. The two-man parted company. Okay. Sodom and Gomorrah. Understood. Oh, chapter 13 is quick. Okay. Verse 12. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Verse 13. Now the whole of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. Verse 14. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had departed from him, look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. Verse 15. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. Verse 16. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that anyone could count the dust. Then your offspring could be counted. Verse 17. Go walk to the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. Verse 18. So Abram went to live near the great feast of Mamre at Hebron, where he pitched his tents, where he built an altar to the Lord. Huh. Oh man, Bible. Chapter 14 of Genesis, verse 1. Abram rescues Lot. At the time when Amraphel was king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim. Oh, Goyim. Oh, verse 2. These kings went to war against Bera, king of Sodom, Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. All this, oh, verse 3. All these latter kings joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is the Dead Sea Valley. The Dead Sea Valley, okay. Verse 4. For 12 years they had been subjected to Kedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. Verse 5. In the 14th year, Kedorlaomer and the kings allied with him and went out and defeated the Rephites, Rephi- Rephites in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, Karnaim. Oh man, the Hebrew names are killing me. Hard to pronounce. The Zuzit, the Zuzi, the Zuzitites, what? The Zuzites in Ham, the Emites in Shaveh Kariathaim. Verse 6. And the Horites in the hill of country of Seir, as far as El Paranir, the desert. Verse 7. Then they turned back and went to En Pat, that is Kadesh, and they conquered the whole territory of the Amalekites, as well as the Amorites, who were living in Hazezon Tamar. Verse 8. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, marched out and drew up their battle lines in the valley of Siddim. I'm guessing Zor is important because it keeps getting referenced as the king of Bela, that is Zor. No one else here was um explained to be important. All of them were just said the king of something, not what their name is or what I assume their name is. Okay, that's interesting. Verse 9. Against the Kedorlaomer, king of Elam, Kedel, king of Goyim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Verse 10. Now the valley of Siddim was full of tar pits, and when the knights of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some of the man fell into them, and the rest fled to the hills. Let's see. Hills. This one says mountain. Yeah. Okay. Almighty. Verse 11. The 4 kings seized all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food. Then they went away. Verse 12. They also carried off Abram's nephew Lot, his possessions, was living in Sodom. Verse 13. A man who had escaped came reported this to Abram the Hebrew. Now Abram was living near the great trees of Mamre the Amorite, a brother of Eshcol and Aner, all of whom were allied with Abram. Verse 14. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken captive, he called out to the 318 trained men born in his household and went in pursuit as far as Dan. Okay. Okay. Verse 15. During the night, Abram divided his men to attack them, and he routed them, pursuing them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. That for that case for Damascus still, or verse 16. He recovered all the goods, brought back his relative Lot in his possession, together with the woman and other people. Verse 17. After Abram returned from defeating Kedorlaomer and the kings allied with him, the king of Sodom came out to meet him in the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. Verse 18. Then Melchizedek, the king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God's most high priest. Verse 19. And he blessed Abram, saying, Blessed be Abram by God's most high, creator of heaven and the earth. Verse 20. Praise be to God most high, who delivered your enemies into your hand. And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. Verse 21. The king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the people and keep the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom with raised hand, I have sworn an oath to the Lord God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. Verse 23. That I will accept nothing belonging to you, not even a thread or the strap of a sandal, so that you will never be able to say, I made Abram rich. Verse 24. I will accept nothing but what my men have eaten, and the share that belongs to the man who went with me, to Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them have their share. Getting better at reading. Okay? Chapter 15 of Genesis. The Lord's covenant with Abram. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. I am your shield, your very great reward. Verse 2. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless and the one who will inherit my state is the liver of Damascus? Verse 3. And Abram said, You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my care. Verse 4. Then the word of the Lord came to him, This man will not be your heir, but the son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir. Verse 5. Took him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, then said to him, So shall your offspring. Okay? So, legally? Oh, Maybe I'm sorry. Verse 6. I mean, everything before the New Testament, polygamy, Christ. Verse 6. Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. Verse 7. He also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to take possession of. Verse 8. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it? So the Lord said to him, Bring me a heifer, a goat, and a ram, to each 3 years old, along with the dove and the young pigeon. The heifer. Hey, Google, what? Oops. What's a heifer from the Bible? In biblical terms, a heifer is a young female cow that has not yet given birth to a calf. Okay, I did not know that. That's that vocabulary. Okay. Along with the dove and the young. Verse 10. Abram brought all this to him, cut them into, arranged the halves of his father. The birds, however, he did not cut it in half. Verse 11. Then birds of prey came down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. Verse 12. As the sun was setting, Abram fell to a deep sleep, and a thick and dreadful darkness came over him. Verse 13. Then the Lord said to him, Know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. Verse 14. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possession. Verse 15. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. Verse 16. The fourth generation, your descendants will come back here for the sin of the Amorites at full measure. Verse 17. Oh, I forgot. Man, forget. Verse 17. When the sun had set, the rest had fallen. The smoking firepot with a blazing torch reared and passed between the places. Verse 18. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram and said, To your descendants I give this land from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates. Verse 19. The land of the Canaanites, Kenizzite, Kadmonites, uh, okay, Kadmonite. Verse 20. Hittite, Perizzites, Raphite. Verse 21. Amorites, Canaanite, Girgashite, and Jebusite. Huh. That's Genesis chapter 13 to chapter first thing. Holy Bible.